Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I am Tanika, and today we are going to be finally discussing episodes 4, 5, and 6 of The Perfect Match. So, of course, for our Netflix binges, we don't do any hot goss, we don't do any ads, nothing. We're just going to be doing the episodes. So, let's head into episode 4 of The Perfect Match. So, Chris asks, or talks to Dom and Xanthi. Chris asks to talk to Dom and Xanthi because he's going to match with Elise. And he tells both of them together, listen, I'm matching with Elise, okay? I know it's a dick move, but, I'm close with that, so I'm sorry. And he's like, why? Or I think Xanthi's like, why are you sorry or whatever? And Xanthi is like, thanks, but I don't care. I think the reason he talked to both Xanthi, I'm not sure about, Dominique, not Dominique. I think the reason that he talked to both of them is because he was talking to both of them, I guess, to kind of figure it out. He's like, okay, now I'm going to match with Elise. What? Anyway, Xanthi's like, I'm matching with Steven, like, duh. And Dominique is like, what the fuck? I don't think she really cares. Like, why is she even here? Like, he's a weirdo. Anyway. Then we see Alara going and talking to Dom. And, sorry, but not sorry about that. I forgot Dom's from Toronto. Anyways. She says, you should come to England. So much to do there. And he apparently is a Harry Potter fan. Okay, you get a little bit of points with me for a second, Dom. Just for a second, because you are on my shit list. But anyways. And so he does like that. And he's like, I have the nails. Like, cause he had like Harry Potter nails. And then they start kicking out. I loved it so much though. They start kicking. He's like, what house were you? He was a Slytherin, y'all. Okay. He was Slytherin. And she's like, Gryffindor, duh. Because who says Slytherin? Who doesn't say Gryffindor? No one's saying fucking Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. Everyone says Gryffindor. Who the fuck? What the fuck? Anyways, that's how you had to know. It was in that moment that I should have been like, oh, so you're shit. You're the bad guy here. Okay. Anyway, but they're definitely really clicking on the Harry Potter thing, which totally good. He says, I like Tulu, but I want to have fun. Dom just wants to have fun. Fucking guy. Anyways, back with Steven and Kaz. And I think this is about, Laura, because obviously I know, like, I'm further ahead now, but I did watch this episode a while ago. And he was actually still with Xanthi at this point. So he says, I wanted to kiss her. It's like, listen, I know I asked for a date and everything, but that's my bad, but you did too good. Like, that's your bad. Oh, Jesus. And he goes to get a smoke. And he sees Alara with Dom, and he's like, oh, fuck. And he goes to talk to her and says, have you matched yet? No? Give me 2 seconds. He goes over to Xanthi, and he says, so the date was good? And she says, yeah, she's awesome. And he says, I want to be honest with you. I felt the urge to kiss her, right? And he says, I have intentions to match with her tonight. Damn it, Steven. Shit. And she says, if you have the better connection, then great. And he says, well, I don't know if it is, but we'll see how this goes. Meanwhile, with Dom and Alara, she says, if I was in control, I would pick you. Well, I think guys are in control, I believe. And Toulouse says, he's done. Like, Toulouse over this shit now. He's like, he's done. And she says, like, she will dump you immediately. Well, Stefan comes to talk to her. And Dom is going to go talk to Toulouse, I guess. Well, since, Stefan has kind of come through the door here. And Stefan says, listen, we kicked it off. I had the best feeling with you. He doesn't want to have backup options. He's all in with her. He's like, I want to match with you. And I really wanted to do this. And he kisses her. And with that, y'all, they match. Well, Toulouse goes up to Dom and she says, where's your head at? And he's like, I did talk to Alara. And she's like, yeah, I heard. She's kind of loud. She is a little loud, y'all, but I like her. And she says, I felt good with our connection initially. I just want to see where this goes. And he says it would be a disservice to not explore this. So, want a match? So fucked. But anyways, but with this, he still wants to connect with Alara, but at the same time, that's kind of ship has sailed, but they have matched for now. We see Xanthi and Dominique leave the house because that's that for that. Elise has all intentions to stir shit up if she gets a chance to get into the boardroom. For Harry and Jess. Next day, Jess is unsure if the women are accepting her after the drama. Harry is like, I am so confident no one is going to fuck shit up. However, Harry does not know that Elise is still in the house. So Harry and Jess walk in and he's like, oh shit, Elise is still here? What? It was funny. And she's trying to channel everything not to hurt him. Elise says, well, you have the challenge. And Jess is like, I'm competitive, but outdoors, not for me. She's like, if it's indoors in the AC, I'm your girl. So we're playing If You Know, You Know. We got questions, truth bombs. If you collect 5 bombs, you're out. So that's how this goes. Alara likes pointy noises. Chris has an alter ego called Axel Stone. Why? Jess needs to marry a man with money. That's not fucking surprising. It's funny how she wanted to be with what's-his-face. Anyway. Low credit score? Forget it. Harry got a shit ton of money in 24 hours on OnlyFans. Okay. At this point, Micah and Kaz are done. They're out. Elise has broken 19 bones. Now Jess and Harry are out at this point. Stefan hooked up with a legit celeb. We don't know who the celeb is. I'm curious. Alara likes to sniff undies. Stefan owned a cage for women. Wow. Actually, they would just go in on their own accord, he says. Toulouse's ex got married while they were together. That's fucking gross. Dom break dances. Elise and Chris are out now, so too bad for her stirring shit up. Harry's very happy about that. Harry got offered $40,000 to have sex. Wow. Some guy wanted him to fuck his girlfriend for 3 seconds, and that's where he would have gotten $40,000. But with that, Dom and Toulouse are the winners. Wow. So Dom and Toulouse go on their date, a cooking date, and they make tortillas. But they talk, and Dom pretty much tells her if there are guys on that board, you should explore it. What? She's like, did I not say to you last night that I want to explore this fucking connection and you want me to go on a date with another guy? He's so fucked up. Anyway, Stefan is cooking for Alara, creating a cute date since they should have won. He's got a candlelit dinner. Even though Stefan is great, Alara is more attracted to Dom and she wants to explore that. But meanwhile, she still kissed Stefan, so whatever. Now it's the next day and it's the boardroom time. So we got Justin from Surviving Paradise, Nigel from Too Hot to Handle, Trevor from Love is Blind. Why the fuck is he even here? And Jake from Ultimatum. He was from the first season, if everyone remembers. Anyway, Dom seems to have an issue with Alara, and Dom seems to have an issue with Alara and Stefan being left alone because he's into her, obviously. Toulouse says, let's try to match Elise with someone because obviously, like, she's not going to be into Chris or his friends. So they lock in with Elise and Justin. So back at the house, Chris drops that he's into Toulouse. Randomly. Kind of out of the blue. Never heard the shit before. Anyways, back at the boardroom, Dom says, I can feel the tension with us, and I want you to be happy. Toulouse is like, your energy is off. Or Toulouse says, like, his energy is off. And she feels played. I 100% agree. She was played. He's projecting the fact that he's just not that into her by saying to her, I could just tell you're not happy. Fuck you, Dom. Honestly. And she's like, I would have to stay with Izzy. At least he was trying. I think you should have stayed with Izzy. And I think like for him, he keeps talking about like he did things wrong last season, blah, blah, blah. And I think he's just so hung up on last season. And because of that, he's moving differently, he says. And it's just like, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. But she says, congrats. You've entered your villain era. He has entered his villain era. Clearly, because I keep saying after every time I mention Dom to go fuck himself, or fuck with him, or this fucking guy, or anything like that. And I really liked Dom last season. So, yeah, that's that. Anyway, that's it for episode 4. We are going to take a break here, and when we come back, we will jump in with episode 5. Okay, and I am back. So I am recording this like a day later after the first part. But yeah, that's because, you have, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get extra out to you as promised, but you do currently have Bachelorette from last week, as well as, Love is Blind You, no, not Love is Blind UK yet. That's not yet, guys, sorry. You do have, what episode did I just get out to you? 90 Day UK. That's what I got out to you. So you do have those episodes. So you'll get this one, but this one will be in addition to. You're not only gonna get just this one because this one is so late. So I will still be giving you another episode as well. Surprised as to what that's going to be, but it's most likely going to be Love is Blind UK. So you're going to be getting this bombarded with UK. That's what we're going to be doing. But let's get back into Perfect Match. So let's do episode 5. So Chris apparently worked at a burlesque club. Interesting. And with that, he did fuck a client. So there's that too. And she paid him before the sex. So listen, that's smart on his part. Dumb on her part, but smart on his part. You get paid ahead of time, you know? So Dom comes back and Tulu is at the date, and Tulu, you got a date. That's what happened. And Elise, you also have a date because clearly you're not into Chris. You guys are just friends. So let's get you somebody. So the guy who Tulu gets is Jake. Again, Jake is from the Ultimatum. He's from the very first season of the Ultimatum. He was the one, I can't remember what the girl's name that he was with, but he was with a girl. She was Jake is also really young, but she was really young and she like really wanted to like be married, and I think they ended up not working out, obviously, because he's on this show, but I think she ended up dating like a doctor or something. I don't remember. But anyways, I visualize her in my mind, but I can't remember her name, but that's who he was with, in case anyone who did watch The Ultimatum doesn't remember who he was. That's who he was. I personally don't understand the match between Jake and Tulu. I think Jake is I picture Tulu with like kind of a buffer guy, kind of more tall, dark, and handsome. Jake is not a tall, dark, and handsome guy. I wouldn't even consider him dark, really. He's not tall, definitely not. I mean, he's darker. But yeah, I picture her with like a Dom type, but not Dom because Dom's an asshole. But I picture her with a Dom type, but I just don't see it with Jake. So I don't know. But they are at like this gym that's made totally out of wood. I feel like that wouldn't be safe, but what do I know? I'm sure they kind of, made sure there's no splinters and stuff. But they both live in Houston, so that's a plus. They both live in the same state, the same city, so that's great. I forgot that he was actually in the Marine Corps, so I do, like, once that kind of came to me, I'm like, oh, that's right. He was kind of part of some form of the military, but I didn't remember that. Because obviously I haven't seen this guy in, what has it been, like 2 years since the first season of Ultimatum came out. So, obviously, sad out of mind, out of sight, out of mind at that point. But yeah, he was in the Marine Corps. And she fills him in and on like the Dom drama and everything, which obviously we don't have to rehash, we know. Oh, so right, sorry, she sent herself on a date, right? Because they were both in the boardroom. So she obviously sent herself on a date. So she says, I sent myself on a date. So with Elise, she's on her date and she's with Justin. Um, and I can't remember where Justin's from. Maybe dating related, I don't know. But that's where he's from. They're going to be doing an ice bath. Fun. He does go first. I don't even think she ended up actually doing the ice bath. She's like, absolutely fucking not. Which I don't blame her. She's like, he has massive feet. And as we know what big feet means. That's all we're saying. So, Elise and Justin do get back to the house, and Micah says, he's cute. And then Tolu and Jake get back, and Jake is going to be talking to the other women because he doesn't want to lay his eggs in one basket. Then we play some truth or dare. Now, we're not going to go through every tiny little thing, but obviously I'm going to go through some of the stuff. Steven, does a sex position as a dare, I'm assuming. Elise kisses Alara, again, I'm assuming as a dare. Chris does a lap dance on Tolu, and this is the one he says that he likes the most, which feels, again, there's a huge gap for me between episode 4 and 5, and then once I kind of finished episode 5 and went on to the other episodes, so I completely forgot about this thing that he says that he has with Tolu, because spoiler alert, guys, sorry, for the next episode we do kind of see they do eventually match, or was it in this episode? It might be in this episode they eventually match, and I'm just like, I didn't see it, but I completely forgot he kept kind of dropping these hints of, I kind of like her, so it was a little weird for me, but whatever, I guess. So yeah, that's what he says. And the lap dance that he ends up doing as a guy who apparently has been in burlesque clubs or worked in burlesque clubs, it wasn't very good. Anyway. Then Chris dares Tolu to sit on his lap and kiss him, and she does. So there's that. We're obviously seeing something, a brewing between the two. Tolu says she can't stand a guy who just waits around to kind of see kind of what happens. And that's kind of, I guess, in her mind, what Jake is kind of doing. Because with Jake, he kind of just like ignores her, right? So yeah, Jake is kind of off to the races, doing his own thing. And he goes and talks to Laura, which again, I just don't see it. Like, I kind of know what Alara's type, and it's barely fucking Steven, sorry. I don't see it with Jake, but anyway. Alara is inviting. Then he pulls Micah. Again, don't see it. Don't at all see it. Again, she kind of, I feel like Micah's type is everywhere. I think Micah's type, there isn't one type for her. I think the personality is the part that draws her in, but in terms of the type, body type, the look of the guy, she's been everywhere. If we kind of see the types that she's been with, we've seen her with Paul. Paul's a very different type than like, what's his face? What was his name again? The one who ended up being with Chelsea? What was the name? Him. She was kind of attracted to him, even though like obviously that when she was having a kind of relationship with him, it was obviously sight unseen, but she was somewhat attracted to him after the fact, so you kind of see that she was kind of attracted to him. What's the name? Kwame, that's it. And then we see her with Kaz, which is again a very different type than like Paul or Kwame. And then now you kind of, like, I think at one point she kind of, again, this is probably a little bit of a spoiler, but we do kind of see her talking to Justin at one point. And anyway, I wrote that she's not leaving Kaz. I wouldn't leave Kaz, but she's not leaving Kaz. Or is she? Who knows? She said she doesn't really like playboys, which I think Kaz has definitely portrayed himself to be a playboy. But again, you can kind of get those playboys that are like, I'm a playboy, but I really want to be in a relationship. Like once they kind of reach a certain age, and maybe that's him now, I don't know. But she says maybe she should explore so that she doesn't get burned by Kaz. So then she goes and she decides she's going to talk to one of the new guys. Obviously not Jake because that didn't go anywhere. Um, so then she decides to go talk to Justin. And then Elise is like, oh, okay, so I will go talk to Kaz then, because obviously Kaz is hot. So you're going to go, first of all, break me and Harry up, and then you're going to go talk to the new guy who was brought here for me. So then I'm going to go talk to Kaz then. And that's what I'm going to go do next. So, and I understand Elise being upset because of Harry. I totally understand it. But I do think Elise, this is a game, but I think Elise thinks that, like, this is a game first and foremost, which it kind of is, but like, you know what I mean? Like, something about Elise rubs me the wrong way. I think that's what it's kind of coming down to for me. But Kaz looks shocked that Micah is actually talking to Justin. And what was interesting here actually is that Micah tells Justin that she's not like she makes a comment about how her and Kaz like kind of have this agreement as to like they can explore other things if they feel like something isn't working or something. Like she made it seem like it's okay for her to be talking to Justin in the sense of Kaz is okay with it. But Kaz looks 100% shocked seeing Micah talking to Justin. Like he actually looked hurt. And I was like, well, maybe he missed the memo because I don't know. So Elise is trying to definitely get some revenge on Micah, but Kaz was also in on that. Every time she talks about her and Harry not working, she only ever talks about Micah being the reason why. It's not just Micah. Kaz was there too. Like, you're dumb. Anyways. So either way, she's trying to get her revenge, but he isn't biting. He's literally like, I'm going to go talk to Micah because like I don't want to look dumb, basically. So Micah and Kaz end up talking, and I guess he feels like she's being sneaky, which, I guess technically she is. And she says, I'm not being sneaky. I don't want to talk to other people, but ma'am, you were literally talking to Justin a second ago saying, like, it's okay that I can talk to you because, like, we could explore other options. Like, what? Anyways, she says, I'm all in on you. And he seems to be into her 100%. So, yeah. So with that, they match. And unfortunately, Elise can't get her revenge, after all. Then Dom pulls Laura, and Stefan sees it, and he's like, shoot your shot, I guess. But he's like, I know, like, that's physically her type, so. Tulu is like, girl. And he definitely lays it on really fucking thick with Alara. And she does say it's not like a perfect match with Stefan because physically speaking, like he's not her type. Which again, it has to be more than that, I would think. So she said, let me talk to him. And she does. And it's like she just kind of puts it out there with Stefan and he puts it all out there with her. And in this moment, they match. Like, you think that she's going to go over there, talk to Stefan and say, it's not working for me, I'm going to match with Dom, but that's not what happens. So I'm really happy about this for many reasons. I think Stefan is definitely the better choice for her, and I don't want Dom to win. So Dom is shooketh by this. He thought for sure, like, she would have matched with him. So he goes, okay, well, let me go talk to Elise then. And they basically say to each other that, each other's hot, but she's like, I don't think it's for me though, because I think she definitely can see like, you're coming after me because I'm kind of the last option for you. So we see Tulu and Chris talking, and shocker to everybody, they match. It's interesting. But then Elise and Justin talk and they match. So with that, Dom is spiraling. He makes a comment about, if people are here with good intentions, and why are you here, Harry? This is what he says. Like, and it's like in this moment, he's clearly spiraling because he knows he's probably going home. And he has to just kind of get that last job in. But it's like, okay, you guys are apparently supposed to be friends, yet you dated the same woman, Harry being the one who she cheated on you with. You know what I mean? Like, it's just messy. But Jess ends up spiraling herself with this comment and is like, what the fuck? Like, is he here for the right reasons? Is he just, here to gain fame or have a fling? Like, what is going on here? And they talk, and he's so defeated. Harry is so defeated, and Jess is just on him. And he's just, you can tell, physically shutting down in this moment. Like, I can't fucking catch a break is basically what you can kind of see he's doing. So with that, the guys going home is Dom and Jake. Bye, Dom. Peace. And we see Harry going into the room to be alone because he's just had it. He's crying. Jess comes to the room while he's crying, and he says, I don't question you, right? So why can't you stop questioning me? And you think, like, is this going to be like the end of Jess and Harry? Because, like, I think unfortunately Jess definitely does second guess everything, and I don't blame her. I think we know Jess has been through a lot in life, and then you also had her dealing with what was his name again? Johnny? Something like that? Whatever the fuck his name was, whatever. You had her, like, that situation as well, and I feel like definitely she felt like the wool was pulled over her eyes as well with that situation. So it's just like, poor girl, like, she definitely second guesses everything. And obviously with Harry having the reputation that he has, she second guesses everything. But, like, it's maybe unfair to Harry when, yeah, I mean, from the outside looking in, it definitely seems like he is into her. So, and plus he can't do just wrong like that. He can't do that to my girl. Okay? He can't. Anyways, that's basically it for episode 5. We're going to take another quick break here, and when we come back, we will jump in with the final episode for our episode, which is episode 6. And I'm back. So let's finish up with the final episode for this episode. So Jess admits that I think I overreact to a lot of things, and she apologizes for overthinking it. And she said, by the way, you are a beautiful crier. Oh, Jess. Anyway. So now we got a challenge. And with this challenge, they will have to collect their 5 colored balls and put them in the respective colored bin. And you cannot use your hands. So we can't do that. And if you do touch them with your hands, Nick is going to make you start over. He's going to make you 180 degrees it. Anyway, so they can't use elbows, and Seven and Alara are the winner here. They actually did a really good job, and I think it became close. I can't remember who the other couple that came close to them was, but they did a really good job. It might have been Tulu and Chris, I think, but I can't remember. Anyway, Justin has yelled the wrong name during sex before, and it just so happens that the name that he called out was the girl's sisters. Yikes. That's not good, my guy. And I can always forget his name, but it's Chris. Well, I always write Flynn Riders in case I can't remember. Doesn't know that girl and boy twins cannot be identical. It's highly impossible. They would be fraternal, and he doesn't realize that. So, yeah. So then we are in the boardroom, and we got all hot to handle ladies just across the board, and they're thinking to connect Chris with Melinda. Apparently Melinda, wasn't too hot to handle. I think she mentioned season 3. I don't watch Hot to Handle, so I wouldn't know. But she also hosted the show he was on, which was Dated and Related. And apparently, we see a clip where he definitely seemed to have been into Melinda because he would like flirt with her to the point of like he would see her. He's like, "Oh, I like what I see." Like that's kind of what he was. So there's clearly this connection with Melinda that he has that goes beyond the show. So they're thinking that, and they also look at Kaz potentially putting him on a date. And Stefan thinks that Micah is fun. Obviously, he's matched with her before, but she's also like he says like she's a fun sponge. Like she just sucks the fun out of the situation. So they then start talking. Maybe Harry could maybe test the relationship with Jess. Obviously, he's been tested before with Elise, but he has not been tested with Jess. So maybe we could test him again. You know what I mean? And they're thinking maybe Britain. But Stefan makes this comment where he says, "Me and Harry talked. If there is a girl on this board that I would be interested in, then I would match the girl I would be interested in with Harry because we have similar types." And obviously he's saying this in front of Laura, and Laura's like, "The fuck you say?" And she's thinking, "Are you, like, do you want to go on this date with Britain?" He says no, but hold on to that because that's going to come back. So they do head back to the house, and they make it look like it's just her heading back to the house because obviously they want to make us the viewer as well as people in the house think that Stefan's going on a date. But not to worry, Stefan is not going on a date. The fuck not. He's really into Alara, even if like physically speaking, Breton might be more of his type. He's really into Alara. So they have chosen Chris and Kaz to go on a date, and obviously we kind of have an idea as to who Chris is going to go on a date with, but we don't really know yet who Kaz is going to end up on a date with, so we'll get to it. Chris is first. He's the first person we see, and obviously with Melinda, they're both happy to see each other. It does seem like Melinda's kind of into him. We know he's kind of into her. They follow each other on Instagram, so like that's like a whole thing. Then we go to Cass and we see who he's on a date with, and he's on a date with Holly, again from Too Hot to Handle. And he's like, "I don't want to like be here, but then like I'm here, so like I might as well enjoy the date." Like he's definitely into her, and she walks in and she's like, "I'm trouble," and they're just rubbing on each other. They're doing like this clay mud massage thing. I don't know. And he says he's happy and he hopes that his dick doesn't stand at attention because that would be embarrassing, he says. And I'd be like, as a woman who would find you sexually attractive, be kind of interesting to see. Just saying. Anyway, then Chris and Melinda show up at the house first, and Toulouse is like, fuck. Like, she's really pretty, she's nice, she's bubbly, she's all of those things. And she's like, but you can also hear her before she enters the room. So true. Melinda is such a loud person. Like, she has to be the loudest in the room, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just, for me personally, that's too much. Like, tone it down. Anyway, and then Kaz and Holly are here now. And Harry is like, "I think I fucked Holly." Jesus Christ. "Harry, who have you not?" You know what I mean? And Stefan may or may not have potentially cream pied her. Okay, all right. Well, like, okay. I guess the Netflix world is so fucking small. Anyway, Kaz talks to Micah and tells her, the date was all right, just all right. Even though he was thoroughly into it, was worried his dick is going to stand up. Like, he was into it. And he's like, "I'm leaning towards you." It's like, "You're leaning toward me? Like, what?" And she doesn't like that at all. He says, "You're my type, but she's a type." Remember that. She is a type, is what he says to her. Now, that makes someone think she's just like a type. You may not necessarily be into it. You may not be into it. You may be into it, but who knows? But makes it very nonchalant that he's, but he's going to twist this. So we're not talking. We then see Micah and Holly talking, and she tells her, yeah, like, this is what Holly says to Micah. He told me like I was his type and that he was, thinking of keeping me, like, adding me into the experience, like with him, like whatever. And obviously this makes Micah spiral because she's like, you just told me like it was and like it was like she's a type, but here's Holly saying like you're like my type. Now, the thing is, it's like he definitely is into Holly, and I think he probably did tell her like you're my type because she is his type. But Holly is definitely trying to create some drama in the house right now. She's trying to go after what she wants, and I don't think that's an issue. She wants what she wants. It is what it is, right? But she's definitely fucking with Micah, and Micah's biting. That's the thing. So Melinda is going to go get, all the guys, go talk to all the guys in the house. Because again, she too doesn't want to leave all her eggs in one basket. The thing is, she says she's still into Chris. But Chris obviously sees her talking to the other guys and he's like, it's not going to bode well for you. Because he obviously wants someone who wants to be with him and only him, not try to be with every other guy here just to secure a spot in the house. So it doesn't work out well for her whatsoever. It's because Chris and Tolu talk. He said, listen, I had a good day. It was a good date, but I didn't feel the genuinity that I feel with you. So that they match and they kiss, and Melinda sees it and she's like, the fuck? She's like, I felt like I was the one. He's like, he's gonna match with me tonight. And I'm like, girl, why are you mad? You were literally talking to Tom, Dick, and Harry a second ago, and you want to be mad? Well, not Harry. She didn't talk to Harry. But you're like, no, she might have actually talked to Harry. I don't know. But like, you're talking to all of these guys, but you want to be mad that Chris matched with his original match? Like, or, you know what I mean? Like, like, what? No, you don't have a right to be upset. Like, I'm so confused. Anyway, then Holly is like, who's cute? Like, and I think she says, I can't remember who she said, Justin. I think she just Justin's cute because I wrote the broad name here. But too late for her because as she's kind of saying, oh, he's kind of cute, maybe I should go talk to him, he ends up matching with Elise. Then we see Seven matching with Alara, and we kind of see like the matches are, the options are dwindling here. And then we see obviously Harry matching with Jess. And I guess like in this case, like right now we're kind of waiting around to see what Kaz is going to do, whether or not he's going to pick Holly or he's going to stick with Micah. And we do hear Micah calling Kaz a liar and tells him like, you told me that, Holly was a choice, like your, or a type, not your type. And like she's mincing words here, but she definitely feels like she's been lied to, which obviously makes him feel like shit because like, I'm not lying to you. You didn't necessarily lie in that sense, but you omitted information. You lied by omission, which is what she says. And she's like, fine, then you lied by omission. Like, so she's like, you at least sugarcoated at the very least. And in this moment, he's like, I don't appreciate being called a liar. And you're kind of thinking, oh shit, like, is he gonna go to Holly now because of this clear tension that's kind of formed between him and Micah? Because then he decides to go and talk to Holly. And that's where this episode ends. So yeah, that's the end of episode 6. So we are going to do episode 7, 8, and 9 in the next episode that I hopefully can get done for you guys, which may be in another week or so. So yeah, you will be getting that next. But of course, you are going to be getting episodes 1 and 2 for Love is Blind. You should be getting that today. And then we'll do episodes 3 and 4 will most likely come tomorrow or Friday. We'll see how that goes with scheduling and recording purposes, but you'll be getting those soon enough anyways. But that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.